It hit me pretty suddenly. I think it was on March 12th when I first felt the symptoms of that. And I had some things scheduled actually that day, which I canceled and just stayed in bed. And then several days later, March 20th, I think it was, I was in the hospital. So I had low oxygen. I started coughing up blood before I went in, and I had a fever. The fever was probably the worst part, and just kind of constantly feeling dehydrated. Was using Tylenol, and then eventually ended up in the hospital and got medical treatment, and then have recovered since, and now I've donated plasma to help other people.
And I think one of the hardest things is that I had to be apart from him because he was feeling sick, and then he had this high temperature, but he couldn't really figure out what to do because he was alone. And I kept saying, "What is it?" And he'd say the centigrade amount. And then I would do it in the Google, and I'd be like, "That's over 100 degrees every day." I'd say, "That's over 100 degrees again." And finally, when he coughed up blood, he agreed that he should go to the hospital. And that's when they found out he had serious pneumonia. His oxygen level was at 70%, and he was in the hospital for 5 days. And the test took 6 days to get the result. For so many people, they know what I'm talking about. They're in the hospital, and some of them never come home, and you can't go there and you can't be with them. It's against everything you ever want to believe you would be like as a spouse or a daughter or a son, and you can't do it. And so all you can do is call and talk to the nurses and doctors and have them put the phone up to their ear. People who have had the disease, who have tested positive, are eligible for this, but then you have to make sure they're negative, and they can work with their doctor and the organization on that. But literally, they believe strongly that plasma is going to save lives.